It's going to be a full house tomorrow, so I'm really very excited to see atmosphere.
The chair umpire raised the microphone for the fourth time in just 20 minutes. So Stadium, a WTA 1000 venue designed to showcase the world number one, was being overwhelmed by a chant no Toronto crowd had ever produced for a player ranked outside the top 10,000 voices. One name, Alex Eala. The scoreboard read second round. But the atmosphere suggested something far bigger, something tournament directors had already acknowledged publicly, and what Aryna Sabalenka's camp is now, according to circulating reports, preparing to respond to. Just 72 hours earlier in Washington, Eala had made history as the first Filipino to win a WTA singles title, defeating world number 3 Jessica Pegula in a 6-4, 6-0 demolition.
It's always a pleasure to share the court with you. I definitely learned so much.
She arrived in Canada with a title in her luggage and an entire nation behind her. The National Bank Open had already released its own preview, and the headline made it clear what was about to happen. The calm before Eala-mania hits Toronto. When the tournament itself describes your fanbase like a weather system, you know the storm has already arrived. And that storm erupted at the ticket office before it ever reached the court. Eala's opening session sold out in roughly 30 minutes, with more than 5,000 tickets disappearing.
Never expected not to have any tickets for a ground pass, which I always do.
The 2,800-seat grandstand, where she was originally scheduled to play, simply could not accommodate the demand. So tournament organizers made a decision that quietly reshaped the hierarchy of the entire event. They moved her to center court, Sabalenka's center court, the same surface where the world number one had opened her campaign 24 hours earlier against qualifier Moyuki Kijima during a day session that, according to NBA and WTA reporting, was not a sellout. Sources suggest reporters have already started directing questions towards Sabalenka's camp about the optics. Meanwhile, fans across Filipino tennis groups are highlighting one number the world number one has yet to address, 0 words so far from one of the sport's most emotionally expressive top players about the phenomenon taking over her tournament. Start with the number that began it all, 30 minutes, 5,000 tickets. That is not fan speculation. That is the tournament director speaking on the record to TSN on August 4th. Karl Hale did not accidentally reveal that figure. He volunteered it. When the man overseeing one of the most prestigious WTA 1000 events publicly credits a no. 25 seed for driving merchandise sales, he is doing more than offering praise. He is signaling a shift. The physical evidence followed within hours. The grandstand's 2,800 seats were replaced by SoBi Stadium's nearly 12,000 seat capacity, a stage built for the biggest names in tennis. Yet it was handed over midweek to a 21-year-old from Quezon City. Sabalenka's court, Sabalenka's spotlight, reassigned. Then came Wednesday night, Eala versus Alicia Parks. The umpire's microphone became the second most used piece of equipment on court after the rackets. Sportsnet's post-match coverage confirmed it, while Reddit's RA Tennis Match thread captured the reaction in real time. Fans cheered Parks' double faults, with loud reactions erupting between first and second serves, forcing the chair umpire to repeatedly call for silence. Yes, some of that crossed a line. That nuance matters. But remove the etiquette debate, and one fact remains. A WTA 1000 stadium built around Sabalenka's no. 1 ranking was that night audibly and physically dominated by someone else. Meanwhile, look at where the world number one actually was. Sabalenka had defeated Ukijima 6-3, 6-3 in a routine day session the previous afternoon, a clean victory with empty seats still visible throughout the upper deck. No relocation memo, no major headline, no hashtag. The contrast is not editorial, it is architectural. The tournament altered its physical infrastructure for one player this week, and it was not the world number one. And the numbers stretch far beyond ticket sales, according to fan trackers circulating across Filipino tennis communities. The YouTube view count for Eala's Toronto press conference is nearing 100,000, while Sabalenka's from the same tournament sits closer to 4,000, fan-generated data. Yes, so the exact figures should be treated as illustrative rather than definitive. But the ratio is not a rounding error. It is a message. The world number one's official media is being scrolled past, while the no. 20 seed is being closely watched. Everyone who told their coworkers a year ago that this Filipina was going to change the economics of women's tennis in Asia, you were reading the room before the room admitted it existed. Pattern recognition matters here. Miami earlier in 2026, Washington last week, Toronto this week. 3 tournaments, 3 arenas reshaped in one way or another by the same 21-year-old. That is not simply a hot streak in ticket sales. That is a business. Which brings the microphone back to Karl Hale, 2 decades as tournament director of the National Bank Open. A senior figure in Tennis Canada, and a man who has personally welcomed reigning world number ones into Toronto since the Serena era. Henin, Wisniewski, Halep, Barty, Swiatek, Sabalenka herself. He has witnessed fan waves. He has seen home crowds take over. He watched Bianca Andreescu's coronation on this same soil in 2019, and when TSN's cameras found him on August 4th. This was the exact language he chose. She's such an unheard of fan favorite. She sold out Wednesday in 30 minutes. Unheard of, not impressive, not surprising. Unheard of, a phrase he has not publicly applied to any WTA 1000 debutante in recent memory. That word is now part of the tournament's institutional record. The establishment has already crowned her. Sabalenka may hold the ranking, but Eala holds the room. And the room is only the beginning. The WTA has spent 5 years searching for its next commercial anchor in Asia, studying demographic charts and streaming numbers, waiting for a signal. Toronto delivered that signal on a Wednesday night in August. 5,000 tickets in 30 minutes is not merely a fan reaction. It is a market revealing itself in real time. And that market stretches across the world's 3rd largest English-speaking nation and its enormous diaspora throughout North America. Cincinnati is next on the calendar, followed by the US Open in Flushing Meadows, where the draw has already placed Eala in Sabalenka's quarter. Every match Eala plays between now and late August will test whether the world number 1 can still command the room she once owned by default. The prediction is bold, but defensible. By the time the New York night sessions begin, Eala will no longer be a wild card curiosity in someone else's quarter. She will be the reason that quarter is being previewed. None of it means Wednesday night was smooth. Eala took the first set against Park's 6-1, then dropped the second for 2-6 as Park's serve finally started landing. The crowd briefly went quiet, and the wobble was obvious. 45 minutes of doubt inside the same match. She closed out the 3rd set 6-2. Afterward on Sportsnet, she did not talk about her ranking, her sellout, or her record. She used the words, eternally grateful. Grateful to the crowd that had just tested her nerves as much as it had lifted her. That is the human being underneath the phenomenon. The player who still has to hold serve at 4-all when an entire arena expects a coronation. 30 minutes. A grandstand that could not contain her. A center court reassigned midweek. An umpire pleading with 10,000 voices for quiet on a court built for the world number 1. A tournament director calling her unheard of on the record, and a world number 1 whose silence this week is speaking louder than any press conference could. Aryna Sabalenka is still the world number 1, but for 1 week in Toronto, Alex Eala became something Sabalenka has never been at this tournament, the reason the tickets moved. So here is the question that will define the rest of this summer. When Eala and Sabalenka finally meet in the US Open quarterfinal, is the world number 1 walking into her house, or is it Eala's? Stake your claim in the comments. Name the score. Name the sets. Put your prediction on the record before Flushing Meadows makes it obvious. And if you want to be there when that answer arrives, subscribe now. Toronto was the trigger, Cincinnati is the test, and New York is where this collision course finally lands. Every twist between now and the Arthur Ashe Stadium coin toss will be broken down here first. Don't read about it afterward. Watch it unfold with the people who called it.